it's Morgan from For the Love of Paper, and I am here with my fourth and final layout using this month's kits from Kitaholic's kits, and I am creating an A4 size layout today because I like to mix it up in my albums, and I don't always do 12 by 12. Sometimes I pop in some other random sizes in there. Today it happens to be an A4 one, so that's a bit different, and gives you a little bit of something else to look at, so you could mix up your albums a little bit rather than just doing 12 by 12 as well. So a little bit of inspiration to do something different there. And the photo I'm scrapping is of Roman. Back in April, we were lucky enough to spend a few days at one of the resorts down on the Gold Coast during the Commonwealth Games, which was really, really lovely. It was actually beautiful to get away and just relax for a few days. Well, my husband was working down there, so I was able to relax a little bit. He did get a little bit of time off with us, and even though it was coming into, or it was autumn and it was cooling down a bit, it was still warm enough for us to jump in the pool and have a bit of a splash around, a bit of a swim. And the resort down there was amazing. They've got water slides and pools and all sorts of things. It was really fun. So this was Roman sitting on the edge of the pool. I think he was just about to jump in. Frank was just off to the side of that shot, and I think he was about to jump in to Daddy before I snapped it, and it was just a beautiful little photo. I managed to capture it just perfectly, and he's such a water baby. It was hard to get him out of the pool, even when it was getting cold, like later in the afternoon when there wasn't as much sun. He wanted to stay. He's like shivering, but no, I'm determined to stay in the pool. I'm sure if we had a pool at home, he would be in it every day. Winter, summer, everything, rain, hail, shine, he'd be in there. Sam's pretty much the same. They're both total water babies, which is lovely. Although we live miles from the ocean now. We used to live only 15, 20 minutes away. Now we're like over an hour and a half away from the water, which is a bit sad, but never mind. And I'll get back to the layout rather than rambling on about that stuff. For the background, or for the actual layout itself, adding the paper and embellishments, I actually took inspiration from the photo. It's really hard to see in the picture, but the darkest strip that runs along the edge of the pool there is actually little tiny square mosaic tiles, and they're all made out of the glass ones, and they're all different shades of blue. And so I thought I could use that on a layout, and I have done a layout similar to this a couple of years ago. So kind of scrap lifting myself there, but also inspiration from the photo. And I decided to pick out all or a few blue colored pieces of paper from the kits. Now I did use one of the cut apart sheets, and I used a couple of the 6x8 sheets as well, and just cut out some 2x2 squares to make my little mosaic pattern. Now I was going to go with a strip of 2 columns of 4 squares, and then I wanted to add this awesome piece in, but it didn't quite look right, just that. So I cut out another 2 dark blue pieces and made it 3 columns of 4 squares. However, after I laid all that out, it didn't look right at all. So I just took out that piece and added in some more of the dark blue star paper. Then there's a puffy sticker. Says, "I love this place," and we totally did. If I could afford to go back there more often, I so would. It was so nice. And then I don't call it a vacation, and I never call it a vacay. It's just not something I say. I say we're going for a holiday. I think vacation's quite American, and vacay is just, It's not me, I'm not cool enough to call it that, but I really, really liked how this looked on the page. The white on white just looked really good, so I'm using it, even though it hurts my soul a little bit to have that on a layout. It just looks good. So yeah, don't shoot me if you don't like the word vacay either, because I really don't, but it just looks good. So I'm using it, going with it. Yeah, hopefully I can, be slightly cool enough to to be able to use that word. And then I added a few more of the puffy stickers and some of the clear stickers up there. I think it says awesome good times, was those little clear stickers up there. And then it came time to gluing down all my little squares. This was probably the most tedious part, and the perfectionist in me wanted to line it up nice and straight and centered. Normally I don't generally worry about these sorts of things, but being that everything else was all nice and neat and square and just right, I wanted to to leave it that way. So I did measure however many centimeters into the middle of the page, and then just started to glue everything down. Now this layout took me 22 minutes, so it was super duper quick. Yeah, there was no mucking around with this one. I just had my idea in my head and went with it. I didn't really fluff around with anything else. No mixed media on this one either, and yeah, I really, really liked how it turned out. I generally do, when I do a nice easy layout, or not an easy layout, a nice quick layout, I generally like them better than some of the more time intensive ones. So I decided to pop my photo up on some foam adhesive, and I didn't even add any a photo mat to the back of it. Normally I put a photo mat on, but I didn't because I'd left the white border around the edge of the photo instead. And then because I'd popped the photo up, I needed this to be a little bit higher, which I do have a bit of difficulty with. Ended up chopping that off, and then it still didn't fit because it was overlapping the photo, so I got my craft knife out and just sliced a little bit of the foam tape off the edge, and it worked pretty well. And then it was time to stick my title down, and again, because I had measured and centered it properly at the top, I felt I needed to do the same down the bottom. So lined up all the letters nice and neatly to spell out my title. And what else do I add? I think I just go back and add a few of the sequins. I think. Can't remember. I actually completed all 4 of my layouts in one day for my design team commitment because I loved these kits so much, and I had so many boy photos I wanted to scrap, and the kids and my husband just let me have a whole day. They put movies on and I just went to town with the scrapping. I actually did a few other projects as well, but for my design team commitment, I'm just like, I've got to get these done and it's going to be great. So I really liked how everything came together, but that also means I can't quite remember what I've done in each process video because they're kind of all blended together a little bit in my head. And also I'm not doing the voiceovers in the order of which I made the layouts either. So yes, it's some brain power to remember what I'm doing. And I thought I'd try out my new tweezers, and they kind of work backwards to normal tweezers. Like you push in to separate the tip, whereas normally you would squeeze to hold it. So they take a little bit of getting used to, these ones. But it is easier than my big fat fingers, and especially when they got glue on them. And that's this layout done, guys. I do add a little bit of journaling and call it a day. So don't forget, as always, there's links below to the Kitaholic Kits Facebook group. Come over there and like the page and say hi and see what we're up to. And also check out the store and grab yourself some goodies. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.